Welcome to the Double Agents Episode 4 recap by Caffeine Confessionals. My name is Alan Aguirre. My co-host is Nikki Sins. Pretty soon you're going to see our faces if you're watching the YouTube version. I redid this intro real quick because our original 1 to 2 minute intro got mangled and I don't want to hurt you guys' ears. Thus, I am recording this. Right now, you are about to hear us talking about our holidays and then eventually about the challenge. This is an episode 4 recap, and we don't want you to think that we just immediately started talking about the holidays without introducing our podcast. Yet, I couldn't let that audio be heard because it would have just utterly attacked your ears, and that's not how we want to start a podcast. Again, this isn't how we want to start a podcast either, but it's the lesser of two evils. Hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
How's your New Year been?
It was good. Obviously, it was COVID friendly, so not friendly for COVID to be there, but I didn't do like a party or any of that. I'm really excited to do the whole like start your New Year's Eve off the way you want your like whole year to go. So it was like really calm, and I went to bed at like a normal time. It was weird not to be out and party. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I'm not the party type of person for New Year's because I don't really usually consider it a holiday personally. I don't know why, I just don't. However, for that and Christmas, even though we didn't go out anywhere, we still cooked at home like it was a full holiday, and we had a nice honey ham. We had some nice, sides, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. My cousin was doing drop-offs, and she made some of the best cookies ever, and we ate them all in one day because, we had the mindset of like, well, tomorrow they will not be as good, so we must then eat them all right now.
What kind of cookies were they?
They were a mix. She made one that had chocolate chip and marshmallows, another that was like marshmallows and raisins. She did like the pretzel sticks with the dip in them.
And raisins.
It was actually really good. They were super soft and super thin. They were great. It was really good. It was so good. They did the pretzel dipped in the yogurt dipped pretzels with the sugar. And then she also made these like thick little greenish cookies. I don't know how she did them, but they were super good because they were packed with butter and were just creamy and delicious. And ooh, they were so good. And now I think we might need to talk about the challenge because that's what people come here for.
The challenge was not eating all the cookies. So we gotta get to the cookie crumbs of this episode.
So how did you like the 1 week break?
I sort of forgot the show existed because of the 1 week break. Not gonna lie. But I think that's all I think it was a good thing that they did that because then the holidays, because they were already not feeling like holidays, felt more like that.
Exactly. I thought that too.
It felt more like a holiday. I think it was a necessary break.
It's crazy to say that, like, 3 weeks we need a break, but because of the way that the preseason was, it really felt like a bunch thrown at you at once. Yeah. And it was healthy. If they did more of these breaks, I think it would be good for the show.
Yeah. And I think it would like further the plots that are within the season more so. Instead of just like every week Josh is crying or I need a break from Josh crying, which he does again this week.
Great. The episode opened up with Devin and Tori's partnership, where they consistently tell us throughout the episode that they hate each other, and they hate each other so much, and it's so much it's almost like two like actors in a high school play who don't really care about drama, and they're like, making fun of stuff with each other, and then like the camera pans in on them, like, oh wait, we hate each other. Yeah, we hate each other.
I don't think they actually do. I think it's so put on for the camera. It feels like a bad like CW comedy where it's like, oh, I guess we're partners now on the force. Yeah, but we don't like each other. Like,
it's so weird because they have these moments where you could see them actually being friends, and then they just like go back to like pretending that they hate each other. And I don't think they're each other's favorite person in the world, but again, it feels very much put on for TV time.
Yeah. In my head, I think that they've hooked up at one point too.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think
I'm starting
so.
that rumor.
I'm not. I will get in on like the head canon of so many challengers hooking up, but I can't stamp that one. I don't see it. Nope, I
I
don't
do.
see it.
I see like maybe like a drunk Tory thinking he's attractive.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's the only
Moving
way I think
on.
women could find him attractive. So
Moving on. Big T. We get a backstory of her where she reveals that, um, her mom was sick when she was young, had problems at home.
yeah,
Her mom's sister adopts her and is like, "Do you want to relocate to England?" And she's like, "Yeah," because she doesn't want Big T around just to see her mother die, essentially. Uh,
yeah,
and Big T is like, "Yeah, at the end of the day, all this stuff happened, but you have to remain positive." And to me, I grew up with that. Like, I was raised by my uncle. I wasn't raised by my mom or my dad. And
yeah.
because of that, it was something I related to hugely. Like, I've always liked Big T, but I don't think I've ever loved Big T as much as other people do. And this scene, like, just made me a Big T fan for life.
Yeah, it was such like a real moment. I was a little at the beginning when they were like, so like, where does Big T come from? Like, what's the story of Big T? I was like, oh, they're gonna talk about her name, and then she started to tell this tale of her life, and I was like, this is beautiful, and because you
Yeah,
don't get stories like that often from people on these sorts of shows. So
I
I think
agree.
it was really good.
Last season, they had something similar with Fessy, where he talked about being in America as a Muslim after 9/11. That was kind of similar, except, Fessy's actions this season have like kind of put that in a more cloudier space, whereas with Big T, she just keeps killing it every week. Like, this was
Yeah,
another banger episode for her because in this episode, she wears this little, like, it looks like a blouse slash kimono type thing, and it looks so comfortable.
I wanted this like silk robe look.
Yeah, it looks good.
Oh,
And then she's also like the voice of reason in this episode. It's almost like she's live tweeting the show while living on the show because there's the moment where, Devin just rudely goes after Amber for no reason. And she's like, "Devin, what the hell are you doing in this moment?" And then
yeah,
later in the episode, Tori, other Miss Artificiality, she is out here, like calling Amber M weak, and she's calling these other girls weak, saying that she wants to go in against a weak girl. And Big T's like, "Why are you calling these females weak? Why are you undervaluing them? Why are you undersizing them?"
yeah.
I'm not sure if undersizing was the right word, but I was with you all the way, Big T. And it was true because last season, Tori literally did go into an elimination where she thought she had a free win
And
and
she did.
lost.
And
So
Jenna
why are
was
you
like,
calling these? So why are you calling these girls weak? Big T's right. She got you pegged.
and what frustrated me about that was that everyone thought when Tori and Jenny went against each other in War of the Worlds 2 that Jenny was going to take it in the Hall
Exactly.
Brawl. Remember, everybody was like, oh, like Tori doesn't stand a shot. Tori was like, oh, shouldn't underestimate me. So why is she doing that now? What's the point in bashing other women to make like you look stronger? You can do that without doing that, like without putting other women down.
I find it very strange because, Tori, especially on social media, tries to be like pro women, yet all of her actions do not display that so far this season.
Yeah. Oh, I don't care that I hurt Liv.
It's
You
it's really
should.
tone deaf.
It's not a good look for her. I don't like this new character she's trying to like play up.
It's not a good character. I mean, what's interesting is that before the season, when gauging interest on social media, Devin and Tori were two people that fans weren't that excited to see. Yet here we are, in this episode specifically at least, they are steering the wheel for almost the
Yeah.
entirety of the episode. And last episode was majority Devin.
You barely see anyone else this episode. Like I saw CT for like a hot second, and I was like, oh yeah, he's there.
What's What's so crazy? Oh, there goes the slide. What's so crazy about all of this is the fact that Devin and Tori, two people that, I mean, nobody is that excited to see together, are controlling the majority of this episode. Yeah, I think most would say this was a good episode. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, because we all know how I feel about Devin. Tori, I'm like sometimes back and forth with because I often am like, okay, she's like, she's a good competitor. She's great for like this sort of television. But again, the like down downy women constantly just to like build herself up. And like if you want to go in against somebody weak, don't start listing off people you think that are weak. Just be like, listen, I want an easy gold skull, so whoever you guys think I can go up against, throw them in.
She's just asking for egg to be on her face.
Yeah. She's like, well, Jordan's not here to look bad. I may as well do it for the both of us.
Next is the big T opening up, and well, we talked about that, right? But after she opens up is the fact that Amber M gets targeted by Devin for being fake because he thinks that she's trying to manipulate the men into targeting him, when in reality, most people in this house already do not like Devin. Amber
Yeah, it
M is
has
she's
nothing
just
to do with
living
it.
in her she's living in her own realm, and it's one of those funny things where Devin says it and everyone is like, who's Amber M?
Yeah, it's sort of like when Josh was like, Wes and I had this long-standing rivalry, and it's like, no, no, you don't. That's did I miss that? And it's like, I my like small petty theory is that like Devin's jealous that Amber M's not showing him any sort of like romantic attention. Because I've heard
She
through
is.
the challenge grapevine that she's like hooking up with Michi on like on the show, and they haven't shown any
Yeah,
of it.
it's a or it's a rumored fact that they hook up this season. And it's not being shown. And Amber M is known for being a flirt.
Yeah,
Hilariously, it's not a good look for Devin, where Vendettas, he goes after Natalie Negrati and Amber M, the two pansexual, bisexual, sexually fluid women on the show who are also small in size. And anyone who likes to claim bullying, I think it's sometimes like I don't think most people bully Natalie Negrati. I think they just have conversations with her. But when
yeah.
you go for two women like this, it's not a good look.
No, things are adding up that we don't want to. Maybe he's just jealous
It's
that
one
he knows Amber could get more girls than he could.
oh easily. It's
I'd
one of
hook up
those
with
things.
Amber before Devin. I'd hook up with Amber and then turn Devin down and then go hook up with Amber again.
I did
But
feel good for her because she finally got screen time.
right? Like I was like, okay, you know, we're finally getting to see other people. And Gabby gets a little bit of screen time too. Forgot she was on there.
It was a good overall showing for Amber because she just shut down Devin immediately and was like, "Yeah,
Yep.
I'm not falling for this shtick. I'm not creating anything that's here." Like later, man.
Yeah, Devin's like, get out of the room. Nobody wants you here. I'm like, why are you acting like an 8-year-old?
I don't
Devin,
get it at
relax.
all. It
Was
doesn't
there
make
something
sense.
we didn't see? Was there like, did she like make a comment that he didn't like? Or because it seemed like Big T was like sharing her story and it was like really heartfelt and they were all having this like great moment together. Kyle was also there. He barely said anything though. It seemed like they were all having this great moment together. And then Devin's like, okay, Amber, I think everybody wants you to leave the room. No.
All she was doing is exist. I will say that in these two episodes, the last two especially, there's been a common theme of Amber eating in the kitchen. That's when we see her. So that's something I can relate to as someone who likes to eat. I can stand that. She's just existing.
She's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Devin's just like, you know what? I hate Big Brother and Amber. And the way that Devin's coming off, where he's like, oh, he's got this like, she's a rookie and she's like just here to party and she's like from a show that was only here to party. You're from the same show. You're from the same show a few seasons before her. Meaning you made the choice to apply for this show before she did. He also talks about like how much he loves foamers, like beer, in his Twitter profile. Oh, you're only here to party. Obviously, you're not there to compete.
Exactly.
Like,
And it was just
Devin,
one of the weird feuds. And Nelson, like a good partner, goes up to Devin and is like, yo, what's going on? And Devin really rudely is all like, don't come at me like all aggressive like. And Nelson is like,
yeah.
this is literally my most muted tone possible.
What I really liked was the head nod from the bathroom where Leo's listening and like brushing his teeth. He's like, it gave me very like Jemmy vibes. You know how like Jemmy will like
Yeah.
listen in on conversations and be like with a wine glass. Oh,
Yeah, those
love that one.
moments where you're listening and you're like, wait, we don't have Netflix here. This is the best thing I'm gonna get all day.
Yeah, Devin got so rude though. He's like, "I'll talk to you when I'm ready." No, you won't. That's not how confrontation works.
Devin was like, I drank till 5 a.m. because I'm here to party and not to play the game.
Yeah,
And now it's 1 p.m. and I'm just not ready for this conversation.
like wake up. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah, it was really rude, especially towards a friend like Nelson, who was just really respectful towards Devin in that situation, in my opinion, because he's like, you are my friend. I'm not gonna like be angry at you like I would in the past to most people. And
Yeah,
Devin was just an a-hole.
he's like Nelson was just inquiring as to what happened. He was trying to get the other side of the story
Yeah.
to help
It
his
was
partner.
it was rude as hell, and we have to move on to the daily challenge. Talking about the daily challenge now.
Yeah,
And in this challenge, players had a drone and a VR headset. One player would put on the VR headset. Also, they were underground inside a
really
lavic.
cool cave.
Yeah, it was visually cool, but was dark inside. So that's why they had the
Yeah,
VR headset, because there was a night vision camera on the drone, to which one player would fly the drone and the other person would be the eyes for them. And you would think this is a 50-50 type challenge. No, the person with the VR headset was doing 80% of the work, and the person who
yes.
was flying, they just had to be a good listener. That's all you need to be.
And I'll tell you what, they're all crap listeners. Wow.
Or they
Wow.
thought it would. And I forgot to mention at the end, because they have to fly this drone over to a computer screen where there is a binary code. The person with the VR headset has to memorize that binary code. They then have to go to a wall where they match up that binary code with a key set that'll give them a 4 number pin, and the team who does that in like the fastest time wins. They must also get the drone back from the computer screen over to the starting point. Really boring explanation, but that's how it goes.
There's
And
also a
again,
10-minute time limit.
yeah, there's a 10-minute time limit, I think. Maybe that's a lie. I don't know if that was true, but 10 minutes is the what they said they gave them, and almost all the teams failed.
Yeah, like just terrible communication. Flying a drone, it shouldn't be that difficult. What they should have done is taken at least 2 minutes to like gauge how to fly this drone. Drones will
It
just like
was
hover. They don't keep moving if you don't do anything to them. They'll just like kind of hover. That's what they do. And so it was just people like Lolo like aggressively being like, "Go left, go left, go left. Why aren't you going left?"
it was
Okay.
really big because again, I think people thought it was 50-50. Like, yeah, you'll fly it, I'll be the eyes. And the people flying had real no vision after like 10 feet.
Nothing.
And because of that, it is fully the person with the VR headset's job to give them every direction clearly. And like when I say every direction, I mean every small 5-second direction. Because
Yeah.
what was happening with a lot of these teams was they were letting their players go forward, and then once they saw an obstacle or like a cave that they're about to hit, like, oh no, left, right, right. And it's like,
Yeah, they
imagine
just
if you were driving and you only could, someone's like, oh shit, car right there on the left. You would be like,
yeah.
oh my god, what do I do? Like, you'd just be
It
veering
was like
everywhere.
the worst GPS ever.
Yeah, it would only tell you things at the last quarter second, and if you didn't get it right,
It would
you
get mad at
die. It was like
you. You
Flappy
die or it would
Bird
get mad.
on crack. It was like Temple Run or something like that, where you had to make those quick decisions. But this is flying a drone, and it's nothing similar at all. It's way harder, and that's why I got to give kudos to Devin, because Devin understood this and was pretty clear. Like, no, 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 wait, stop right here. Go down a little bit. Now go
Yeah,
forward. Now up. Now down a little bit. And he guided Tori the entire way through it, and was able to memorize the binary code, which I think is really hard because you're only
yeah.
working with ones and zeros, and that was a way bigger board of codes than I expected. They
They
complete the
were
challenge
the
and they
only
win.
team.
They're the only team who finishes, and that's because of Devin. He
Yeah.
was so good in this challenge. He used his big mouth really well here. He was clear with directions, and this is the type of stuff he's good at. This is, if Devin was on the challenge back on like season 4 or season 3, he'd be really good at it when the games were a little bit more funky. But
Yeah.
once it got more physical, he it just he doesn't really shine. But this is the stuff. If you saw the "Are You the One Second Chances" that we were making fun of last week, that's what he's good at.
Yeah. I also think that he's sort of like direction wise and like encouragement wise similar to Jordan, if that makes any sense.
I agree.
So I think it was as much as like Tori claims to like hate Devin, I think that she sort of sees some sort of like resemblance in terms of the way that he like communicates during challenges, and like will probably encourage her the same way as Jordan. So she finds some sort of like comfortability in that. I think that made them a really good team for this challenge. I think this been like last week's like headbanger, they would have sucked. They would have lost for sure.
Agreed. Also, good thing Wes wasn't here because I think Wes would have won this daily challenge.
That's what I said when I was watching it. I was like, okay, Wes must be at home like playing with his own like 8 drones he probably has, and he's like, oh, I could have done this.
Because like if there's anything Wes is like really good at, especially in old age, it's giving direction and just like visually seeing a challenge. Like that's the stuff he kills these days. And now that
Giving direction for rich tech products. Also, TJ had the best time laughing at everyone. Everyone came down so confident. They're like, I got this. And then TJ's just laughing at them. Like, Leroy's like, I don't want to play no more. I don't want to do this. TJ's laughing at me. They loved it.
Yeah, Leroy is very much the kid. Like, I'm losing this game. I'm done with this game. I'm never
Full
playing again.
flip.
And I gotta note, Leroy's shirt in this episode was fantastic.
I remember it from last week. It's great. And you know what? I don't want to like stereotype women as like dressing their men because and saying men don't have a fashion sense, but I feel like Cam picked this one out and it's a good look.
1000%. I mean,
Yeah.
I've gotten it's one of those things, especially with Leroy, where you get used to a decade of him wearing Under Armour shirts that you see this and you're like, whoa, who's this
Yeah.
guy? Who like, do you want a job in my Fortune 500 company, fella? Like, it's
Yeah,
one of those type things. Like,
he's gonna get hired by Wes.
yeah. It was huge. And then I just, I love the people who failed immediately and they were just like, and I think the best was Big T in that her drone flew backwards and like
Just
I don't know who had the VR headset next to them or the person on the side of them, but like I wait because they didn't see the drone go behind them. They probably heard it though, and you could just see Big T's face, which just like smiling as this drone is behind them, and just like, oh man, we're screwed already.
I honestly I don't know why Big T wouldn't be the one like communicating. Like why wouldn't she have the VR headset on? She would have been better at that.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, as a
Cece's
whole,
thumbs are probably too big.
agreed. But yeah, as a whole, Devin and Tori get the win, which
Yeah.
is very shocking after last week. And after especially knowing that they hate each other so much,
Uh,
and
the
it makes
Academy
for
Award goes to.
an interesting game because they have all these different sets of friends who they are protecting. Devin is protecting Kyle, CT, and Nam.
Just a weird alliance. I think it's just they're just all in the same room.
I'm glad someone's looking out for Nam. I'm glad someone's looking out for my boy.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, it's probably not going to be Lolo for long. She was so aggressive in this lifetime, this challenge.
Then Tori is looking out for essentially everyone because
Yeah,
that's, Tori. And I don't think anyone in the game really cares about Tori as much as she's trying to protect them. I
except
don't
for
think she would,
Anissa.
yeah, I don't think that Tori would care about these people if Devin wasn't her partner. I think
No,
she'd, I think because she just wants to be resistant towards Devin and doesn't want to have him, run their team because it might put a bigger target on her.
which I think she's approaching this like very incorrectly. I know that there's like one part where Devin and Tori are talking, and they're like, "So who are the three people like you want to protect?" And I think Tori said Leroy. I don't know that I've seen them interact.
Yeah, she was like,
She
"Oh,
was
who
like,
who does Devin hate?" Leroy. Like maybe I'll take a chance with the fact that he wouldn't gun for this person. Maybe he wouldn't gun for Nani because most people like Nani, and it was a bad choice. In the end, it came down to essentially two teams for the House vote, which were Nelson and not the House vote, the double agent vote, which would be Nelson and Amber or Josh and Nani because they got into a fight with Devin in the previous nights.
yes. And then for some reason, the House vote, Jay's name came up.
Jay's name comes up because Josh thinks he's going to get voted into elimination because he got into his fight with Devin and he is trying to instigate something with Jay where he's like, yeah, you're targeting us, you're not on our side. Because in reality, he wants to create a fight
Yep.
that will rally a vote for his side to throw Jay and Teresa in. Because Josh thinks, like, well, I weigh 60 pounds more than Jay, thus I can beat him in a physical elimination, which is ironic because he had that option.
I don't. I don't think
Let
he could.
Rogan go for the skull.
Yeah. Also, during that altercation or the argument between Jay and Josh, Jay was like, "I'm not being aggressive," and was like yelling. And at one point, he was like, "Oh, he's like, I'll stomp my foot in your mouth, I'll crush you." I'm like, "That's being aggressive." Like, but I'm on your side, dude. I'm on your side. Are you?
In his defense, Josh was really coming at him through the
He
side of his
was.
mouth. It was
There was
he
so much
stayed.
spit coming out of Josh's mouth.
Yeah, Jay, because Jay literally did nothing, and he stayed seated.
Yeah,
So I
he
guess
did.
he didn't get that aggressive because he never stood up. He never he could have been more aggressive than that for sure. I would say he was more aggressive than Nelson when he went to approach
Yeah,
Devin, and
my
yeah,
grandmother
it
was
was
aggressive.
weird, and it's just funny because every week Josh just gets dunked on.
He tries so hard to pick a fight with people every week, and like Nani's like, stop, because Nani's not gonna want Josh to like want to see Jay in elimination because then it could be Nani versus Teresa again.
Agreed, and
And we
you also
still
have
haven't
to
gotten to see that.
you also have Casey who is just so annoyed. She's like, "Oh my god, why did I pick Fessy and Josh as my partners?" She's like, "I am wallpaper. I am not supposed to be noticed, and yet here I am as wallpaper with two fire alarms right next to each other, both going off at the same time, and now
Man
everyone can
children.
see me."
Big man children, the two of them.
It's just like she's just so frustrated. She's like, I gotta clean up your mess here and there. She's like,
Constantly.
literally, Jay is with me. We are talking game right now about
Yeah.
keeping us all safe. and you're going after him. The House vote happens, and there are 12 votes for Jay, not for Jay Teresa, for Nelson and Amber. And
Yeah.
it's funny because it was clearly Casey rallying votes to make sure that Jay didn't go in to
Yeah.
not lose that ally.
Yeah, and I think Teresa is also a pretty solid ally to have with like their side of things because she's not really aligned with anyone.
Nope. I think Big T was also part of this move. I think Big T likes Jay, and
Yeah.
Gabby strayed her vote from Leo to save Jay and vote in Nelson and Amber, which is crucial. There
Yeah.
were some people who threw burn votes, like Darrell and Fessy and Kyle. Fessy and Kyle threw their votes to each other, with Darrell during his vote to Fessy, I believe, as a burn vote. And yeah, it was, I think, a 12-8-2-1 vote.
Fessy has just been like I don't know who should get the award for biggest man child this episode, like Josh or Fessy, because Fessy, messy Fessy, that's his new name. I'd also like to know he was flirting up with Tori. I see they're not
Yeah.
hiding that.
So yeah, Fessy, flirty Fessy, messy flirty Fessy. He was, yeah, he was in the hot tub with Tori, and even though Tori was engaged, you could tell that if she was not engaged, they'd be going at it right there. Just the tension between
Absolutely.
them.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Fessy is that like I don't think he even has that much of an interest in her. He just has a type that is blonde women, similar to Tony back in the day, where it's just like, oh, this is a blonde woman. I am thus physically enthralled by this, and I must mate with it.
Note to self: don't if I meet Fessy, dye my hair black.
What's hilarious is
Stuff
that
like that.
later in the episode, he's flirting with Gabby in the ice bar that they have, and
I
it's
hated
the
that.
it's the funniest thing ever because in her confessional, Gabby quite literally has this look on her face like, I am emotionally not interested in this dude whatsoever.
No.
He is so lame. His personality is just not vibing with me at all. And then you could see like there's a part of her too where it's like, but he's 6'5" with big muscles, and there's nothing else to do in this house.
Yeah, I guess they probably don't have any board games or anything to do there, so may as well hook up with Fessy. I'll have to bitter taste in my mouth saying that. I didn't like it.
I mean, she is obviously physically attracted to him, but is not that into him. Whereas I think Tori is just a lot more all in on Fessy because for whatever reason.
Yeah, I can't really gauge Tori's type.
It's impossible to find at this point. It's so all over the place.
Yeah, I'm like, good for her. But, good for her, flirting it up now that she's no longer engaged. And she was one of the double agents this week, so
Good for
it was
her.
a good
Yeah,
week for Tori.
she's got TV time.
Yeah.
Something I want to mention real quick that I forgot to earlier is that Liv got removed from the game due to her injury, and it felt annoying because it was a little bit swept under the rug.
Yeah. Also, why wouldn't it be on last week, too?
Well, they did have the scene in the episode where Amber and Big T give her a hug in the house, and I don't know why they didn't just have her like cut a confessional like she's been told to leave, and
Yeah.
that's her leaving moment with them giving her a hug as they say goodbye and edit it that way. Whereas TJ just really anticlimatically doing it, and Michi gets a new partner now, and I feel bad for
Yeah.
Michi because I don't know. I just want good things for him because whenever he's on my TV, he's a good energy. He's a good vibe.
Yeah. I felt bad because it was just kind of like, okay, did you guys notice that Liv wasn't here? And they're like, yeah, where is she? Well, she medically can't compete. So Michi, you're a rogue agent. You're not competing in this. Oh, okay. Thanks for the heads
Which
up.
which should have been a dead giveaway that the next elimination was a male elimination.
Yeah, use your big brains, everyone.
Tori is saying that she's going to put in Amber M because she wants to get her gold skull. And then they go to the elimination. They see it is a Hall Brawl.
Oh, I was just screaming. I was like, oh, bro, oh, bro, oh, bro. I was so excited. I love that.
Fessy walks up to Tori and he tells her, vote me in if it's a male elimination. And that's shady as hell since Nelson is one of his best friends.
But let's note, um, like Tori did say, she's like, yeah, but it's Nelson going in. Bessie was like, don't care. Like, I want it.
Then you add in a little bit of flavor that Josh the whole day thinks he's going into elimination, talks like this is my time to get a win. I'm finally not going to be 0-3, and I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna do stuff. To which I
No,
just
you're
want to
not.
say, I'm gonna mention something later, but yeah, it was just one of those moments where he screwed over two friends in one moment by giving Tori this little hint. When they
Yeah.
go to announce their decision, TJ will not reveal to them whether it is a male or female elimination day, which
That's I thought that was totally fair.
I thought it was 50-50. I thought like, well, what's the point of being the double agent then? Because I feel like you should get that power for winning the daily challenge. I feel like that's like a basic requirement in my opinion. I don't know. Personally, that's how I viewed it.
I think if they were going to tell them, they should tell them when they get the like information, the classified information.
I agree.
Should be like
That's how it should be
these are
done.
the agents, these are the compromised agents, and then to males week or females week.
I agree. That's how it should be.
Yeah,
And here's the thing: if Tori really hated Devin, she would still vote themselves
yeah.
into elimination because Devin is getting sent to the moon by Nelson and Hall Brawl, and then you get a new partner. You get a new partner regardless, whether it be Nelson, who physically is strong and you can make up for his mental side of the game and just be that type of partner, or you get Michi, who you could make a song with. Either or, if you hate Devin this much, then you
Yeah.
make that play.
It just shows how like fake their hatred is for each other. But
It's
Devin's
just,
like, don't do it. It's stupid.
yeah, it was a fair play by her because, I mean, you don't do that to another human being, I think, just as like a moral thing that early in the game. Maybe if you
Yeah.
do it later in the game, I could understand it. But again, it is a bit dickish to do it that early in the game.
Yeah,
And
but it's like Tori's MO.
her,
She
yeah,
wants to
yeah.
be a villain.
I don't know. There is certain lines that you don't want to like, break. And I guess I respect that she didn't break that one. She chooses Fessy and Anissa because Fessy told her to. And even worst case scenario, Anissa will get her gold skull probably because Anissa thrives in physical competitions. And
And Amber would also pew. But
unfortunately, yes.
when Tori chooses them, she's like, I want to do my friends a solid. They want this. It was like, if you hadn't have said that,
It was just so dirty and just I feel bad for Nelson in so many ways because the guy is the type of friend who will literally throw himself into the final elimination for another friend. And
yeah,
then here is someone who he perceives to be, obviously he's not brothers with him like he is with Corey, but is his second ally in this game. He's his number two
yeah,
guy, is his brother, not his brother, but like, really close. And he's going in against you this early in the game, this early. Like, it's not like there's like one skull
yeah.
left in the game. This is, I
It's
think
this
it was,
early, and it's like the challenge elimination.
it's just so effed up on so many levels where Ashley Mitchell, she stole $500,000 from Hunter after having all this beef and da 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 da. To me, that's like stealing money from a bank, from a government, from a big institution that could recover from it.
Yeah.
Fessy going after his friend like this, that's like stealing like $50 out of your friend's mom's wallet, and they're like financially struggling because you
Oh,
just want to like buy something, you want to buy like something cool. and it's awful. I
Not
hate.
not cool, Fessy.
It's just so. To me, it's one of the scummiest moments in challenge history because
Yeah, this
it's
is like
so
dirty 30.
unnecessary. Oh, God, it's just because you have like I'm someone who's like you should play the game hard, like don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. But to someone who's like that good of like that loyal of an ally that early in the game, I
Yeah.
don't know what you're trying to prove.
And Tori was really like putting putting hoes before bros there.
One
Because
thousand
like isn't
percent.
isn't she friends with Corey? Why would she want to
Yeah,
do that to like Corey's boy?
it's
Like,
one of
oh,
those
like
things where
she just saw
I
dick in
don't
her
know.
eyes and was like all dickmatized by Fessy and was like, I gotta help him get his gold skull. But it's for Anissa, I swear. You're not stupid. You know it was a men's elimination.
It was a real mess. It was just, oh man. And then the elimination itself, good lord. Nelson, he
Nelson
had
held his own.
he a guy with one of the most impressive elimination records all time. This loss was maybe his most impressive moment in challenge history. Because
Yeah.
Fessy is 6'5", 245 pounds,
Huge.
and runs a 4.78 40-yard dash time. He is easily the fastest guy in the house
Yep.
by a country mile. And Nelson, as strong as he is about 5'8", 180, and works out a lot. That he used to be a strip club manager. That's his thing. Fessy was a college football player who should have been in the NFL. There shouldn't have been a competition at all. He should have gotten steamrolled.
Yeah.
Instead, that first round, they meet in the middle. Fessy, I want to say, gets about 60% of the way down the hall. Nelson gets as low as he can.
Which was so
And
smart. I was like, because I was screaming at the screen. I was like, get low, get low, get low, go low. Because
yeah,
had he just stood up, he would it would have been winded, ribs cracked for sure.
it was just, he gets so low. And for, I think, a decent duration, his feet are almost like prone, almost like he's at like the bottom of like a military push-up, but his feet are still like his toes are still planted, pushing forward, even though his body is almost fully
Yeah.
in the ground. And Fessy, he has 50 to 60 pounds on this guy, is faster than him, is more athletic than him. Yet Nelson keeps pushing forward,
Hope
and
he was
then Fess,
embarrassed.
and then Fessy starts playing dirty. He literally rips Nelson's mask off his helmet
Yeah,
and has his dirty hands inside Nelson's helmet for a decent duration of this elimination. Is like I mean, I'm someone who like to myself, like when he put his hands through his helmet and you could see all the dirt on his hands, I was thinking to myself, like, Nelson, you better bite this dude because
that
you
I
can't
was bite
like
his leg, bite something.
if someone could put your hands in your eyes, you should be allowed to bite them, bro. Like to me,
Yeah,
that's like I'm like, dude, hit this guy in the ball or something. I don't care because like what this man is doing, like that shouldn't be allowed. That just shouldn't be like if that's allowed, then everything should be allowed.
Bessie almost could have blinded him.
It was. I mean, I don't know about yeah. Maybe not, I wouldn't say maybe go to blind, but like just
Really injure his eye, scratch his
yeah.
cornea at least.
It was annoying as hell. It was just something where even TJ said after the first round, like, "Hey, Fessy, no more dirty play." And maybe
But
he
then
was
neither of them
close.
had masks.
Maybe he was close to a DQ. And in the end, they finally release each other. Before that, though, even then, Fessy kept grabbing Nelson's helmet and banging it across the wall, banging his body across the wall, and Nelson just stays in the ground, keeps pushing
Yeah,
forward. They
he's
release.
fighting for it.
They go for the bells. Fessy is just faster than Nelson. He's way faster than Nelson. And Nelson's an athletic guy, but Fessy's a top level athlete.
I
And
just that one made me so sad because like this is the first season I like Nelson.
it's a photo finish. Fessy barely gets it. They go for round two, and Nelson's body is really broken down.
Yeah, I
Fess,
can only imagine.
Fessy gets, I want to say, 80% of the way down the hallway. When they meet the second round, he's just coming full speed at him.
Yeah. Like
Nelson tries
CT
to
train.
Nelson tries to get low. He holds his ankle for as long as possible. And it's one of those moments where the crowd itself is so on Nelson's side because they're like, how is he still in this? Like, how has he not just been rolled over? Because
Yeah.
we've seen people like Big Easy ring Wes's head with the bell. We've seen, Leroy. Like a lot of these are Wes getting murdered. We've seen these like undersized guys get murdered in Hall Brawls so many times. And Nelson, that's 50 pounds, bro.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man. And Fessy gets the win in pretty dominant fashion in the second round, but the whole crowd itself is like, Fessy, that wasn't even that impressive because you got 50 plus pounds on this guy. Nelson, you are a champion, like in our eyes, because I
For
don't know how you
anyone
lasted that
not
long.
watching and listening, I'm rolling my eyes. Probably actually so loudly that you can hear me.
It was one of the most incredible elimination losses ever. And it's
I,
hilarious because it's 2 seasons in a row where Nelson loses in Hall Brawl, and everyone is like, wow, Nelson is so awesome.
yeah. This you know what? This episode is officially dedicated to Nelson.
1000%.
Yeah.
Agent 00 Nelly T, Scuba Nelly T.
Scuba Nelly.
It was just remarkable, especially considering everything that, just getting blindsided like that, being a good partner towards Amber, sticking up for her in the voting ceremony, being like, you guys are underrating her. It was just a remarkable episode for him. I
It
will want to
was.
say, Tori in the crowd being the only person cheering out loud for Fessy, only one audibly saying, go Fessy, go Fessy, was real tone deaf.
Yeah. Maybe get your glasses and read the room because you weren't. And also, I'd like to know before Fessy like went in, before Devin was like, okay, I vote for Fessy, Josh was like, no, put me in. It's like, Fessy, man, give me this. And
You
I
got
think it would have been more entertaining to watch two guys closer to each other's size between Nelson and Josh go against each other.
Yeah, Josh is still a lot bigger than Nelson, but Nelson, considering what we just watched, Nelson would have turned Josh into mashed potatoes,
Yeah.
just flat out, and it would
Yeah.
have been,
Very
oh
entertaining for
man,
me.
it would have been another bad loss. Like, oh man, you lost to a guy 30 pounds less than you because he doesn't have the muscle that Rogan does, and I mean he's a big guy but doesn't have the density that
Yeah.
And Nelson, oh man, he was just so impressive this episode, and
He was.
it's gonna create my article like 10 best elimination losses ever. I'm gonna write that now because of this episode.
Nelson's best eliminations.
Maybe, I don't know. It was this elimination really, I think, carried the whole episode.
It did, because the daily challenge didn't really. I, it wasn't like enthralling for me. It was because
Watching 10
watching
people crash wasn't great.
watching other people not do well in like a VR situation is not fun. Have you ever watched your like other friends play VR and you can't see what's happening? Not fun. I want to see
It
what's
was,
happening.
yeah,
Well, it
it
is
was
funny watching their bodies
fascinating.
move around, but it saved the episode.
Yeah, not that the episode was like bad beforehand, but this episode was like a solid B minus C plus, and then it got just raised by that A plus 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 elimination, to
Yeah.
which like I've never been this heated after a challenge episode in a while. I'm heated like legitimately because like oh my god, dude, like what a petty move and what an
Yeah.
impressive showing by Nelson in a loss, man. And oh god, I haven't been this upset in a while. And that means the show is good. That means the show is good if I
Yeah.
care this much.
This particular elimination was like 8 of Nom's abs out of 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I give it 8.5 nomams out of 8.
Oh. Or like 10 Nelson nicknames out of 10. I don't know how many he has, but.
And after the elimination, Fessy chooses to pick Casey as new partner. Just as a,
So dumb.
I
Is he
mean,
an actual caveman?
I just think it's an okay move because it's an upgrade over Anissa because Casey is a stronger player than Anissa.
But she's in his alliance. That's not
Yeah,
going to
but
help with numbers.
it's not, and you could see that Casey was very upset. Like, dude, how many of your messes am I going to have to clean up? I got you. I got Josh crying in the corner. There's the old quote from the Gauntlet 3 where it's Big E dying in the final, and I forgot who says that. Maybe it's CT or Brad. It's like this guy's dying, she's crying,
Be
and that's
careful
how
not
like
to spread rumors about Big Easy dying again.
oh my god.
I tell you what, I don't want that smoke. I'm in BC, but I don't want that smoke. Nope.
To which his decision then prompts Leroy to pick a new partner. He sees Anissa and Amber M, and this is like picking between a Lunchable and pre-packed lunch meat, in my opinion.
Or like the
And
charcuterie board in a Lunchable.
yeah, he's just looking at these like Anissa's solid. That's all right. I'm gonna go with the lunch meat. And Michi's gets Amber M, and even Michi is like, well, we're gonna look good, but we're
Yeah.
not gonna win
I
anything.
don't think we're winning any challenges. Who can hook up the best? Well, Tori's like, hold my beer.
I mean, imagine if Michi and Amber M were like, "Hey guys, so we know we're not the strongest thing in the house, but for your entertainment, we'll be like a live OnlyFans type situation where you can just
Yeah.
watch us,
Maybe
and
that's
we'll
where
be,
Nam got the inspiration.
ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah." And that's our episode.
Yeah.
And these new teams are very lukewarm compared to other new team picks, where we have
Like Kevin
Case.
McAllister.
Yeah. It's been a good episode. I rate this episode 6 NAM abs out of 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 6.5 Nam's Adams out of 8. I'm very excited. Saw a little preview for next week. Oh, oh, I I'm ready to almost shit my pants watching other people on heights.
Yeah, this it's gonna be a bit similar to the trust fall challenge
Uh,
from the Duel 2, where they held their hands over the cliffs. And I think famously DM was like, "Don't drop me, don't drop me, don't drop me, don't drop me, don't drop me." And then her partner's just like, "I'm tired of this girl yelling at me," and just drops her.
oh, poor Big T is like.
CT, show us your game face, Big T.
Uh, uh, I would just look like one of the fucking ice climbers from Super Smash Bros. I'd be like, no.
It's
Like,
crazy.
like you're Canadian, you're fine with cold. Not heights.
It's just so surreal because we're 4 episodes into the season, and the stars so far are Big T, Devin, Fessy, and Tori, and that's just like what? And
It
the
started
season
with
has
Cam.
yeah, and she's
Cam
fallen in the
started it all.
background. That's what I'll say has been missing this last episode was that I know Wes kind of made the first few episodes annoying and that he was kind of a scapegoat for everything and he was feeling himself too much like usual. But he does give the episode a bit of star power when he's there.
Yeah, that's CT should have said. I don't know anything to maybe get a confessional.
CT is hibernating. He fought with Josh last episode and is still disappointed at himself for getting into that.
I know. At least he didn't make any like old CT choices.
That's true. That's true. Or could have made the episode better by making some old CT choices.
Yep.
All right, everyone. If you like this episode, subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, YouTube. Find Nikki on Twitter at the Nikki Sin and on her website at thenikkisin.com and Instagram at the Nikki Sin. Find me on Twitter at the Allan Aguirre, on Reddit at RAP Grantland, and on Medium at thealanaguirre.medium.com. Thank you.
Heck yeah.